Welcome back, you beautiful people, to another lesson in Advanced Excel. And today we're going to be looking at some formulas you can use with dates. We are still on the date file under level 1 and we are on tab sheet 2. Okay, now I'd like you to click on the first grouping here, this button next to 8. Okay, now after you've entered a valid date using the MDY format like we have here, if I look into this, it's entered in the MDY format, correct? Okay. Now, you might want to know what day of the month a particular date is, and you can do that using the day formula. So if I enter day, you can see the parameter it's asking me for is serial number, but it really means date. It's asking me for the date because every valid date in Excel is a number. So I enter the date, okay, and it returns 3 because this is the third day of the month of June. Okay, you can also check the month using the month formula, enter the date, return 6 because June is the 6th month of the year. And let me enter year, enter the serial number, returns 2011. Now you may ask, why is it returning numbers over here instead of returning June, for instance? And it's because these formulas are used for logical statements, and logical statements would need numbers, but we'll discuss that later in the future. Okay, so now you also have a date formula where you can find a particular date using numbers that represent days, months, and years. What do I mean? Under the date formula, you can see the first parameter it asks for is the year. So I can enter 2011. Then it asks for the month. I enter the number that represents a certain month. Okay, and now I enter the day, and what it returns to us is 3rd of June, this same date over here, 3rd of June 2011. Okay, now come over to the second grouping by row 27, set 2. Okay, now if we want to know what day of the week a particular date is, we can use the text formula for this. So I'll enter text. What value? The value refers to the date. So I enter the date. Then what format text? You have different format text here depending on if I want the long or short spelling. So let me enter 4Ds within 2 quotation marks. It's very important to put those quotation marks there for this formula to work. So I enter the 4Ds, press enter, and you can see it returns Friday. Okay, but what about these 3Ds and 2Ds? Now let me pull this down and change this to 3Ds. I can see it returns the short form of Friday. So depending on what form you want, whether the full or the short, then let me change this to 2Ds. And it just returns the number. So you have different format text here depending on what you want, full, short, or the number. Then you can also find, if you want to know what month of the year some particular dates are, you can use the text formula as well. I enter the value, I enter 4M's within quotation mark, and it gives me the full spelling for June, the full format text version of June. Now if I pull this down and change this to 3, gives me the short spelling for June, and change this to 2, it just gives me the number that represents June. That's 6. So now I can also use the text formula for years. Enter the value, 4Ys. It gives me 2011. I pull it down, change the remaining to 3 and 2Ys. It still gives me 2011. Now let me change the last one to 2Ys. and it just gives me 11. So depending on what presentation you want. So this is what the text formula is used for. Okay, now come over to set 3, the button by row 41. Okay, now if we have a list of dates like this, and we want to know what days of the week do these dates fall on, what day of the week, between whether it's a Saturday, Sunday, Monday, all the way to Friday. I want to know what day of the week it is. I can use the weekday formula. Enter the date, press enter, and let me pull this down. Okay, and you can see it returns a list of numbers. But what do these numbers represent? How do I know if it's a Sunday or a Saturday or whatever? Now let me use the text formula to check. So I'm just using the text formula to check. I'll use the full days, that's 4 days. Now let me drag it down. And what you have here is that each day of the week, starting from Sunday, Sunday is represented by a 1, Monday is represented by a 2, Tuesday a 3. Okay, so weekdays formula helps you get the day of the week. It returns numbers also because this weekday formula should be used for logical statements. Again, we'll discuss that in the future. Okay, now what does the workday formula do? Let me enter the workday formula. And as you can see in the parameters, it asks for the start date. And it asks for the start date, it asks for some number of days. Then what it does is that it tells you what the date will be after a particular number of work days have passed. And let me illustrate this. So I can enter, okay, fine, let the start date be 1st of January 2012, right? And I want to know what date will it be in 6 working days. Okay, so if I press enter, you can see it gives me the 9th of January 2012. And if we count from 1st of January, if we count 6 working days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to skip Saturday and Sunday because they are not working days, and Monday, 6, making 6 working days. So that just shows is correct because it gives you 9th of January 2012. Okay, now what is the network days formula? It's kind of similar, but this is how it works. Let me enter network days formula. You also ask for the start date. So let me enter 1st of January 2012, and you ask for the end date. And what it does is that after you enter a start date and end date, it tells you the difference between those days in working days. So if I enter 9th of January for the end date, return 6. So you can say that this workday formula and the network days formula, they're kind of complementary formulas that basically doing the same thing in different ways. So network days formula tells you how many work days have passed between a start date and an end date, while the workday formula tells you what the date will be after some work days have passed. Okay, then let's go